Stay tuned for a retro gaming video with your host Big Friendly here at the Gen X Memories YouTube channel.
Hello everybody, Big Friendly with Gen X Memories, bringing you another retro gaming video. And today we have Communist Mutants from Space. Kind of a unique name when you think about it, compared to other games that were released back then. But heck, in 1982, I guess the Berlin Wall was still standing and the Cold War was still going, so why not? Anyway, this is released by Starpath for their Supercharger on cassette tape. And it's basically like a Galaxian / Galaga clone, but it does expand on that gameplay a lot. It's not just plain Jane. There's lots of great features, variations, challenges on this game. It's really cool. If you like this kind of game, you should definitely check it out. All right, well, I'm gonna play a couple of games. I'm gonna play one game just bare bones with none of the extras turned on, and then I'm gonna play the second game with the extra stuff turned on. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, here's what the screen looks like when you boot the game up. You got the Commie Mutants 1982 arcade. I like how they have the sickle and hammer in the letter even on the game. That's pretty neat. All right, now what I'm gonna do here, let me show you how this works basically. Let's go ahead and boot up a game, and we'll start it up. Okay, now you can have up to 4 players, which is pretty cool. The difficulty goes all the way up to 9, and I'll show y'all that. It's insanely hard. The shields you can do on or off. The time warp is basically a way you can slow down the enemies for a few seconds, and the PF is a penetrating field. This allows your shots to eliminate multiple enemies. It really does. If you want to do some slaying and really rip them apart, it's a pretty cool thing to have. Makes it easier to hit the queen up top too, because she's the one that's going to be laying the eggs to enemies in the game until you kill her. She'll just keep pumping them out. The last item is guided fire. Remember demon attack? A lot of these shooters had that option where you could select it to do straight missiles or guided fire. Okay, I'm gonna do all of these like this to start with, and then we'll try one with everything on. I'll play maybe a wave or two of each game just to show you what it looks like. Okay, here we go. Now, you get more points for shooting like any of these other games as they're diving. You only get like 10 points when there are eggs up there. Now, once they drop off the bottom of the screen, they don't come back like they do in Galaxian or Galaga. But the queen will see how she just keeps pumping eggs out until you kill her. She will just keep doing it. So you're kind of trying to do a breakout type deal and knock a gap in all the eggs and shoot her. But you got to be careful, because while you're trying to aim at her, you got these guys jumping down on you. And it looks kind of easy right now, but trust me, it gets hard pretty quick. You start off with 5 lives. Seems like a lot, again, because the game doesn't look very hard right now, but trust me, you need them. And you even get, I did kill her at least. You do get one like every other level. And it keeps up with the levels too, like the arcade games do, which is cool. Oh, and once you kill her, you see how they become a lot more crazy. They just start diving down, and again, once they fall off the screen, they just go away. You see, it's a little tougher. It gets a little tougher, but good colors though. I mean, look at the queen. It's like you can see her eyes blinking, and this game is also yes. Okay, here we go. Sorry. Okay, it's hard to talk and play. It's a 6K game, not a 4K game, so that makes it a little easier for them to ramp it up on how nice it looks. Okay, I'm gonna play a little longer. Maybe do one more part one. We'll see. I just want to see how hard it looks. Yeah, you can see how it's starting to ramp up. Okay, y'all get the point of how this works. Okay, I'm going to show you what the one looks like with all the options being played at once. Okay, let's turn all these on, shields, everything. Now, you don't have to do all of them. You can pick and choose, but this you can really do some damage when you have it set up this way. Watch out how the bullets cut through them. You see, I already killed her. They're going to start coming down like crazy. And there's the slowdown. Now, I'm playing with a gamepad, an old PlayStation gamepad. My Atari joystick broke. I need to get a new one to repair it. But it's sometimes I'll accidentally hit the shield or the slowdown. It would be easier to play this probably with a regular joystick. But you can see it's a lot faster because you can kill her because those bullets cut through. It's a cool game. So see, the levels are going to move a lot faster. So you can knock her off quick. Ow! That's pretty piss poor to get killed in the slow-mo. Alright, come on. Since this is going so fast, y'all, I'm killing them so quick, I'll play a few levels just so you can kind of see how crazy it gets on the difficulty. Because it won't take long. You see how fast I'm knocking them off. I like how it has a little flags like Galaxy and Galaga do. Ooh, double shot. That's pretty cool when you pull that off. Ooh, ooh. I got my shield on. You can also ram them when your shield is on, but you just got to be careful because it'll go off and you'll blow up. Come on. Hit her. Yeah. That's so cool. Oh man, I could have gotten all three of them if I would have timed it better. Yeah. Do you think this could be better? See, there's the 10. Do you think this could be better? Could you get into this game more than, say, Phoenix or Galaxian on the 2600? I think it's a better game, just my opinion. Just all the features you get. I mean, because like I say, you can turn some of these off, you can mix it up. Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure how much longer I can hold out. Ah. Come on. Come on. See, I didn't mean to use both of them. It's just when you're using a gamepad, it's harder. Wave 12. Lordy. Yo, this ain't gonna be long. Okay, I'm obviously not gonna last much longer here. As soon as I get done, I'm gonna show y'all level 9 on this game. I'll start another game just for a second. Although it wouldn't take but a minute for me to die all 5 times. But I'm not gonna hold out much longer on this. Yeah, at least I killed the queen. Ah, okay, that's it. Okay, I'm gonna set it up for level 9 just to let y'all see what it looks like. Okay, let's see. Difficulty, let's ramp it all the way up. It's like look how wide their shots are. Jeez. You see how difficult this is. It's just. Thank goodness they don't come back around. I wouldn't have survived probably. Yeah, you see. Okay, I've shown you enough. This is way too hard. I'm gonna show y'all. Let me shield them. I'm gonna show y'all some other stuff. Try to keep your interest. Let's see what else we can learn about this game and check its background. All right. Before I move on to talk just about Communist Mutants from Outer Space, I think we should do a quick talk about the Supercharger. I always felt like it was one of probably the most underrated and underutilized accessories that was ever released for any console. And when you think about it, most of the games were typically cheaper, like they ran $15 to $20, and you were getting superior graphics, superior sound, deeper games. I just I kind of hate that the gaming crash wiped it out along with everything else. I feel like I wish it could have kept going. I mean, because a lot of people, including myself, even though the games had gotten cheap, and in my case, I was a teenager. I was when the crash happened, I'm 13, 14. In 1985, I turned 15. I'm still playing video games, still going to the arcade. I still play them at home. But at the same time, I'm kind of skirt chasing at that point, getting into other things. But I feel like the Supercharger could have kept going. I hate that it got wiped out. I remember the very first time I saw one being played. It was at the Home Video Game Club where I was a member. My mom would take me there every Friday to rent a new game. It was like maybe $3 for a week, and it was really great. I loved it. But there was some, it was a couple of kids and some even older people watching. I walk in, they're playing Frogger, but I didn't recognize the Frogger on the screen. I was like, wow, what's this? Is this on the ColecoVision, on the Fix 200? No, this is the Atari 2600. Of course, I saw the long cartridge, looked very strange. And that was the first time I saw the Supercharger. And I immediately started asking questions about it, finding out about the games, but they didn't have any available for rent. They had one they kept there for display only. So I had to wait. It was probably a few weeks before I could rent it, and the first games I rented were Dragon Stomper and Escape from the Mind Master, and I absolutely had a blast with both those games. They were unlike anything I'd ever played before, as far as the amount of depth and they offered, and on Escape from the Mind Master, the graphics. I mean, the scaling of the hallways and everything. I just never seen anything like that on the Atari before. It was really impressive for its time. And I mean, I had a tape player. I think every house had a tape player by the early 80s. I had actually gotten one for Christmas, probably a couple, 3 years before. I mean, how else was me and my buddies going to record our farts whenever it would come up? Yes, we did that. But I just wanted to talk about that because I just feel like the Supercharger was such an awesome thing, accessory, whatever you want to call it. And I hate that it just disappeared. I felt like it had so much more potential, and if the crash wouldn't have happened, there could have been so many more games. It's just such a shame. All right.
Now for some reviews for Communist Mutants from Outer Space.
Okay, after doing some digging, I was able to find 3 reviews for Commie Mutants. All 3 of the publications liked the game. I'll show you what they are real quick. Okay, I never heard of this magazine before. This is actually an old magazine from the UK called TV Gamer. This is the March 1984 issue, 85 pence. Now, first thing that catches me about this is March 1984. I mean, that's like a year and a half after the reviews happened in the United States. Would there be a reason why this game would come out that much later in the UK? I know the UK didn't have the game crash the same as the United States did exactly, but why would the game be out so much later? Can anybody from the UK answer that for me? And also, I'm curious, how much was an arcade game? I mean, y'all don't have a 25-cent pence like we have a quarter. So what did y'all pay for an arcade game back in the early 80s? Video game update, October of 1982. Both of their reviewers also like the game. They give it 3.5 out of 4 stars. There is one thing I'd like to read the bottom paragraph here. It says, a final word about the Arcadia Supercharger. We cannot be too excited about the unit and games presently available. Although the unit allows simultaneous movement of more on-screen objects than possible with the Atari VCS alone, graphics of Supercharger games are equaled or surpassed by many standard Atari compatible games already on the market. And now the Supercharger was new. I'm sure at this point you haven't seen Dragon Stopper, Escape from the Mind Masters, some of the more deep games that require multi-loading. But the game that came with the Supercharger was Phaser Patrol, and you could always make an argument that you just like Star Raiders or Star Master or there's a couple other space type sim games that came out for the 2600 that you may like them better, but as far as graphics go, it's absolutely no contest. I mean, the thing moves perfectly, flicker free, and I don't get where they're coming from at all with that. And finally, we have Electronic Fun with Computers and Games. This was actually their very first issue, premiere issue, volume 1, number 1, November of 1982. And this was a good magazine. It went away like all the others as soon as the crash happened, but it was, they were out there for at least a couple of years, maybe a little longer than that. But they gave it 3 out of 4 joysticks, and they liked the game also. All right, now the fella who programmed Communist Mutants, his name was Stephen Landrum, and he's got a pretty extensive career. This will be the second time I've actually covered him, because he also did the Frogger game that was for the Supercharger, which I did a video for that about a month or so ago. Now, these games are kind of scarce. Communist is a 4. Now let me show you the box first, just because it's, I don't know, it really is cool looking. I don't know, it just has, I love how they did this. Very neat. Now, let me jump back. I want to, okay. For the Starpath Supercharger, he did Suicide Mission, The Official Frogger, Dragon Stopper, and Communist Mutants. So he had 4 games for the Supercharger that he did. But let's jump over to to Moby Games. Great site, by the way. There's a picture of it. It's pretty old though. That's from back in the late 80s. Let's check View All. Okay. Now you jump back. He did stuff for the Commodore 64, the Atari, DOS games, the Atari Lynx, Apple II, and he even did some 3DO titles. So he was real busy. The Temple of a Spy, if I'm pronouncing that right. I remember playing a version of that on the ColecoVision, one of those games years ago. But I also think that if I remember correctly, he likes to play professional poker as a hobby also. Okay, what are people paying for this game on eBay? You see loose games, just the cassette holder for $30. Somebody selling fridge magnets for $6. More loose ones, $50. I looked at that one. That one was just the box and the cassette. Doesn't have all the other instructions and everything. There's a silver for $90. Okay, now I've seen these T-shirts that are vintage, supposed to be the real deal from back in 1982. They look like they could be that old, but people are wanting crazy money. It makes me wonder, did the T-shirt come inside that? The box was pretty big. Did the T-shirt come inside the box? I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot of them on here. See, look, there's another one. You got the people who have it sealed up in plastic. They're wanting pretty high prices. There's another T-shirt, $287. There's a whole box for $90. Now, let's go over here to the completed listings. $20, $35. Box and tape for $35. There's one with everything for $65. Okay, look, somebody bought one of those shirts for $200. You've got to be kidding me. That's crazy. I wanted to show y'all this one. This one's kind of wild. Let's see. Now this went for, you got Kami, Fireball, and Escape from the Mind Master all in boxes for $65. One person bid on it, so I'm sure the seller was thrilled with that. But that's pretty nice. That's not bad at all. When I did the Frogger video, I actually asked if anybody still had these and had played with one recently or tried it, and there were a couple people that said that they had used it in the last few years with the actual cassette, and it still worked. I was like, cool. So what did y'all think about Kami Mutants? I think it's a pretty darn cool game that probably a lot of people never even got to experience, because the whole thing came and went pretty quick, right there between 1982 and 1984. If y'all are still here at the end, I thank you. I appreciate you watching all the way. Let me do some shout outs real quick. Can't forget the places that help make these videos possible. That'd be Atari Age, Moby Games, the Internet Archive, and Atari Mania. All those sites are wonderful places. If you like retro gaming and you just want to go nosing around, you can find some really great stuff. So check them out. And if they have a way to support them, toss them a buck or two. I've done it before, and I ain't got 2 nickels to run together hardly. Okay, I'm going to sign off now. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.